Hi, welcome to the Silver Spleen. My name is Jarvis Newman, and this is my review of Protege. Written and directed by Derek Yee, Protege tells the story of an undercover police officer who spent 7 years working for a drug dealer. Daniel Wu plays Nick, an undercover cop who's actually never done any regular police work. They recruited him right out of the academy. Nick lives in a nondescript flat in Shemshui-po. Is there any other kind of flat in Shemshui-po? Next door to a single mother named Fan, played by Zhang Jingchu. She tries to take care of her daughter, but spends much more of her time and energy and money taking care of her heroin habit. She's also trying to avoid her estranged husband, a buck-toothed junkie played by Louis Koo, who looks altogether too tanned and healthy to be a convincing dope fiend. And it doesn't help that he's wearing a set of false teeth that are more obviously fake than a lot of the chins and eyes and hair color and being sported by entertainers that we see almost every day. Good grief, where was I? Through hard work and assistance from the police, Nick has gained the trust of Quan, played by Andy Lau. Nick is being groomed to take over for Quan, who has diabetes. A career criminal, Quan is thorough, low-key, and consumed by paranoia. I really liked Andy Lau's performance in this movie because it was very different. It's nice to see him playing in a non-glamorous role. He's darker than usual, and I don't mean the character. That may sound kind of strange, but if you see the film, you'll know what I mean. Quan dresses well, but not luxuriously, and even speaks like a regular person. It's a very different role for Andy Lau, and he plays it really well. He's also playing his age, which is not only surprising, but interesting, because it allows him, I think, to be much more natural in his character. Supposedly, when he'd first heard about this film, he actually wanted to play the Daniel Wu role, but luckily for us, Derek Yee said no. Quan has 2 daughters, and his wife is pregnant. It was great to see Anita Yoon on the big screen again. These days, we're lucky if she gets to be in a Chinese New Year movie. I guess if you watch TVB, you'd probably see her more often, but I don't watch television. Because this movie is about drugs and the people who buy them and the people who sell them, it walks a thin line between entertainment and preaching, and sometimes it stumbles. I don't really blame movies, especially local movies, for either not knowing about or taking liberties with the realities of narcotics. I also don't mind that local movies especially tend to take a pretty draconian stance against drug use. I do, however, wish that sometimes they were a little more subtle and or realistic about it. Daniel Wu does well in his role, but I had a hard time believing that the people around him would believe him, if that makes sense. He's too nice. He's too well-spoken. Heroin people aren't like that. But we should all cut him some slack, really, because, trust me, in the middle of unprotected sex is the absolute worst time to discover that the woman you're with has track marks from needles. From what I've read. But those are minor things. I really liked Protege, both when I saw it in the cinema in 2007 and when I rewatched it on DVD. The scene featuring Liu Kai-chi as an overzealous customs officer still made me squirm just as much on DVD as it did in the cinema. It's one of those things that stays with you. The film also features location shoots in Thailand, and the scenery was really nice. A lot nicer than Shemshui-po. One of my favorite parts of this movie is Zhang Jingchu shooting dope in her underwear. No, it's a monologue by Andy Lau that captures the thinking of so many people about drugs and the people who use them. It makes me laugh, but then I'm an awful person. Even so, I hope you would trust my recommendation that you should watch Protege. It's a very good film, and I'm sure you'll be entertained by it for one reason or another. Of course, I want you to watch this movie by spending some money for it. In the description, there's a link where you could buy this movie. That's what you should do. Don't watch it on YouTube. Don't download it. Don't. If you enjoyed this review, please leave me a comment. If you didn't enjoy the review, please leave me a comment. And if you really enjoy the channel, please think about subscribing so you'll get notifications when new videos are posted. Thanks for watching.
Taiwai Station, Taiwai and the New Territories. This is where Daniel comes off the train early on in the film. It's not a very exciting one, but it is convenient, so there you go.